Welcome to a bonus video for this month. If you're new to my channel, I'm June of June Sketches, and I do videos centered around my love for both art and writing. Today's video is a combination of both those things. It's about one of 4 entries I'm doing for Huevember and Nomvember challenges. The subject of today's painting is Abigail Lacey, from my unpublished novel, Listening to Georgiana. Listening to Georgiana is a novel that I wrote loosely based off of my life, following my struggles with depression and social anxieties and life analysis, questioning myself sort of novel. And Abigail Lacey, or more well known as Abigail Abby, no last name, is a character that the main character Georgiana meets along her journey. Abigail isn't a typical girl. She is also going through some of her own personal demons, and because I don't want this video to be something of a trigger-centric type of video, I'm just going to gloss over some of the bigger details about her. But if you guys would like to know more about who she is, I do have a written short story that I've done to accompany this piece for NaNoWriMo. Abigail normally has this blonde hair that glows under the sun, but because of Huevember, I've decided that she fit perfectly with day 7, which is the light red-orange. I believe that Abigail embodies a color of warmth that was brought on by her struggles. I feel that she is capable of a lot of love and caring, and I also feel that this particular color exudes that. And in the story, Georgiana calls her a shooting star. A shooting star to me is bright at the beginning, and so I see the light red orange as a bright color, and I also feel that those two symbols, ideas, match quite well. Before I started this whole challenge, the first thing I did was pick a day out of Huevember. Because Huevember comes with a prompt that's been going around with the color wheel and the certain colors that correspond with those days, the first thing that I did was I picked a day, and after I picked that one day, I decided that I would just do one per week, because I didn't want to be bogged down with the everyday posts like Inktober. I knew that I was still recovering from that stress, and that I didn't want to put myself in that situation again so soon. So I picked day 7, and after I picked that and decided that I was going to do one piece per week, meaning 4 different pieces, I ended up with having to do day 7, day 14, 21, and then 28, and not knowing what those colors were. When I went to go write it down, I realized that the color was light red orange, and at that moment I thought, what theme was I going to do? What would make this challenge easier to tackle? Because I was also considering doing Nomvember, which is created by JoySan, or Snarky Tuna on Instagram. I'll have her channel link up if you guys don't know her. I was really interested in her challenge because I love food, and I wanted to have an excuse to draw a character or something that has food in it. I actually didn't know I was going to do a character, but I really wanted to do food. And then when I realized that it was November and that it's actually NaNoWriMo time, that's when all of the thoughts and ideas finally came together. I decided that because I didn't have the time to do the 50,000 words for NaNoWriMo, I was going to do something different, something more personal and special to me. So instead of doing the 50,000 words, I decided I was going to do 4 short stories, each of them at least 800 words to 1,500, and each of them corresponding with the pieces that I would paint. So if you guys want to know more of the specific details about Abigail, you can go ahead to my website. The link is down below in the description. It'll directly lead you to the post about Abigail with everything on it that you need to know. I do warn you that her story does tackle really deep issues and very personal, mature rating content. So please be aware and cautious about that. If you're going through something tough, something similar to what I talked about, Georgiana and depression, please be warned, this is your trigger warning. And just, again, be cautious. The way that I created Abigail's character was through different experiences I've had with people who are like her. I combined all those experiences and rolled it into one person, which is Abigail. And she embodies a lot of darkness inside of her that she isn't quite aware of. And I sort of wanted to get that across the painting, but not so much so that it dampens the view that Georgiana has of her, which is that Abigail feels like a sort of angel or saint or something around those lines. Angelic, you know? And to Georgiana, Abigail glows. And like I said at the beginning, Abigail was equated to a shooting star by Georgiana. And that was the main focus for me, was that this is how Georgiana views her. For the November part of this challenge, I decided that I would give her tea, because in the story, she is often drinking tea. And even more often, she is at the greenhouse of where she's staying at, and where she meets Georgiana. And in that greenhouse, it's sort of her sanctuary and the place where she feels the safest. And so I wanted to put her in that space, to really show that this is the place where she feels that she belongs. And around her on the table is the tea. There are 2 cups, one for her and one for Georgiana. And on the side of one of the cups are flowers. And what I wanted to convey with this scene is that she makes her own tea from her own garden sort of thing. This piece was a lot of fun for me because I got to watercolor, and I also got to try out new colored pencils. Something that I'll unbox sometime in the future and explain why I even have new watercolors. That'll be in a different video. But I haven't been able to do a watercolor piece this big for about 2 years now, and it's just so much fun, and I really enjoyed it. The challenges gave me an excuse to do whatever I wanted to do, and it's been quite a relaxing time for me. I know this video is a lot later than I thought it would be. I was hoping to release this back on the actual day, which was day 7, November 7, but like I said, I was waiting for some color pencils to come in, and I had a lot of thoughts that I wanted to put into it, into the story and into the actual artwork that I didn't want to just quickly do something and regret it later on. I decided I would take my time instead, and I'm glad that I did that. And I'm glad that I did that because for me, she turned out really, really well, and I'm proud of the improvement that I see in this particular piece. I hope to grow more as an artist as I go through this series, and that you all enjoy it. I think that's all the thoughts that I have for this piece, and do enjoy the rest of the video.
to shine. Stars align for you and I. Stars align for you and I. Stars align to shine. Stars align for you and I. Stars align for you and I. Stars align for you and I. Stars align, together we shine. No more boundaries tonight, expressing love in the light. When tomorrow comes, we won't know where we've been. As the sun sets, we get closer to our hearts. As the sun sets, stars begin to shine. Stars align for you and I. Stars align for you and I. We won't forget this night.
Thanks for coming in for this bonus video, and if you enjoyed it, be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you next video. Bye!